Hey, Yanis. Right, so Aditi, sorry. I had a good conversation with her this morning. In this case, I've gone switching from this to the next conversation, but in many cases, I think it might be kind of like other communication styles. I think is probably the right piece here. So she wants to move into this visual communication space. She comes from a very strong written and verbal communication. She obviously tried different techniques with videos and memes and things like that. And your course has pulled her in as, hey, look, I'm self-declared shitty at art or drawing or whatever, but hey, it doesn't matter because look at this, someone else is doing pretty shitty art, but they're communicating clear ideas. So I don't think I'm going to bore you by walking through here, but this is kind of just like the story how we got to now. So started off university publishing this book on college hookups for students, getting a grant, being able to get onto LinkedIn with a content creator. Maybe I need to put something in there about people who've hired content creators or just done something along that line. But basically, I've gone from this to deploying different communication techniques. As part of getting this green card, this content coach said, "Hey, yeah, post this," and she thought it was cringe, but it got viral and it got like 1 million impressions. And so that's led to her being able to start a business and grow this business. And this business is powered by content, powered by LinkedIn. There's some sort of insights here. So she's gone through these different things. She seems to go along, and when she's consuming content, she's almost got like a magpie, like a file of other people's content. She sees something and she grabs it, and it's how do I repurpose this? So like the memes she mentions, the Tom Cruise example, but I suspect other things like it's like, hey, this somebody's climbing up a hill, you've got this. It's a universal, hey, you can do it, and it doesn't really matter what it is. So she can grab that. Maybe somebody else was talking about it in a business context, and she can talk it to somebody trying to get their green card with it. So I thought that was quite an interesting one. And it is really about stepping into creating for the first time versus co-opting, and believing that she can actually create on her own, that she doesn't have to just take somebody else's visual and reuse it. I'm not quite sure why that's so important. I think I might have missed that in this interview. What is it? I think it's just a sort of rounding out. She's talking about sharpening her toolbox. It's another string to her bow. It's another tool to use to communicate. And on different days, she communicates different things. The Maven course wasn't going to work for her. She talked immediately about the price and how yours was exponentially cheaper. But actually, the dollar values don't matter to her. She also talked about joining a $1,000 course on how to be a better storyteller and a $3,000 course on how to write offers. So she takes money and invests it in herself. This is kind of like, it's almost, and it's not even described as an investment. It's described as investment itself. It's not described as just pure, oh, I'm going to spend this and endure it and get on with it. It's like, this is fun money. I'm taking my fun money to learn something. So she's actually getting value out of learning new skills and building to her capabilities. The appearance of your visuals, I don't know how I'm spelling this person's name, so I've probably got it wrong. But Jefferson Fisher's book, your visuals were in there, you were credited with that, and the fact that they illustrated the book and brought it to life tell you something. So, in the future, maybe some aspect of messaging to people that are known to have purchased a particular book could be a good ad strategy for you, because if somebody else sees that and thinks, wow, that's really clear, and then, hey, I wonder, could I do that? That seems to have been the tipping point over here. She didn't know there was a course, didn't know she was looking for one, but the you don't need to be an artist is important. The idea is the hard part, that's important. Simplicity, so if I think my art is shit and I look at PJ's stuff and it's quite cute little graphics or whatever, it's like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do that. But oh, look, it's a couple of lines and boxes, yeah, maybe I can do that. So that gives her the feeling she can put her first rung on the ladder, and I suspect that's what this story is really all about. And it would be useful to learn. So yeah, this is a bit about the courses she's done. There was some sort of discount there that triggered her into buying at that point in time, and just got in to see what was going on. She describes the course as bare bones, but I think that's quite a good thing. Like, if you listen in, it's not like it's a criticism. It's like, hey, Yanis is like me, he's a scrappy kind of guy. He kind of doesn't talk tons like I do, and so therefore he's distilled it down into the bare bones of what you need to know to get your first step on the ladder. However, I do think there's opportunity here. The DIY option that you've offered. One, the course landing page didn't seem to. It was talking about the course, and then the get the coaching didn't seem to talk to her. Two, at the time, she still felt, I only want to dip my toes in the water. I don't want to go swimming. Haven't got an idea I want to create into a visual yet, and I haven't necessarily, I haven't experienced this. So can I do it still? And for whatever reason, the offer seems to be, oh, what am I going to be paying Yanis to help me draw these things or draw them for me? I don't really want to do that. I want to learn and I want to be scrappy. I want to DIY this. So that's been rejected. However, later on in the story, she talks a lot about the value of this. I think I've put that down here. So she didn't realise the one-on-one sessions with this kind of in-person feedback. When she talks about the value of the community keeping her in, it's really your feedback. I don't think it's the fact that we might chime in or somebody else on the course. We don't care. It's like, oh, Yanis gets it. Like, he's giving me some feedback. This keeps me motivated. It keeps me going. However, this is a cost to you, right? That you're spending money or your time. You're not earning more money for the time that you're putting in to that community. So I do wonder, depending on what other people say about this, but should it be an upsell rather than a sell at the front, or should it be a package or something like this? I don't know. We should think about this, but it's kind of, if someone's getting value from it, then you could capture that value. And she's clearly not price sensitive. She's spending $3,000 on one course, $1,000 on another. So it's not the dollar amounts that are holding her back. It's am I going to get value from it at the point of purchase? Anyway. Let's have a quick look. So I got quite a lot of pushes and pulls for this, but some of them are probably repetitive. So I'm an active poster on LinkedIn and I need to create new content. I've seen the power of memes and visuals to getting engagement online, but I don't feel that I can create my own. So going back to posting something, posting stories, getting this stuff, and then seeing how other people are posting visual stories and getting that engagement. I draw like shit, but someone else with very basic art basic art can communicate ideas clearly, and I feel it's possible for me too. I've seen the visuals in books from someone I trust, so the push there is, it's like, wow, hang on, I bought this book, I've gone to this book launch, so you must really like this guy, and yet he's trusting you to write to draw his visuals, so that really does draw a big strong bond there, I think. And that could possibly be a pull. Sometimes these pushes and pulls are quite two-sided. You can phrase the same thing in the same way, and we probably have. In this case, I'm really good at communication, and I do invest time, money, and effort into improving my skills. And this is a skill I lack. Maybe there are other people out there joining verbal communication or written communication courses who are super at visual communications, who are similar to her. Runs her own business, so this is can I communicate to my business? I'm powered by social here. That may be true of others. It's true of me to a degree. Really good at writing content, not at drawing it. Don't know how to use visual story. I know I don't know how to use visual storytelling. Sorry. And then these visuals that resonate with me. So again, this could be a pull or a push, but it's when I'm seeing your visuals, and I'm like, wow, that speaks to me, and so I can speak in this way to others. But I feel like I want to be able to do this, and I lack this skill, and I'd like to add this skill to my bow. So like I said, lots of these they're kind of duplicative. They'll probably end up in the same group, but I'd rather dump more down now than less. Obviously, basic level pull. I learn how to communicate my ideas. Visual, create my own rather than co-opting those of others. So I've reached the point now where, the ones I'm sharing from others, they're doing well, but what if I could add my own into the mix? It's tapping into these universal emotions. So I think it's that last one, the last push, this resonance. It's resonated with me. I'd like to resonate my ideas with others. And by the way, this stuff can communicate to anybody. She talks about somebody going up a hill, and you can do it, and that could be for an athlete or for an immigrant, and so there's a real emotional draw there. Universal emotions. So again, this one's kind of duplicative. I need a course that's accessible and suitable to my skill level. So she might have joined PJ's course. Maybe I think she probably will in the future. But at this point, you look at it and it's like, I'd like to, but if I see one that's at my level, it's like, oh yeah, this is for me. Investing in her growth, I think this is important to her. The discount, so that seems to pull people in, which is very different to my own course. I've decided not to offer discounts and only to offer it to people when they're in the right context. But in your case, a few people have mentioned the discount. I wonder whether if we took the discount out, does that dry up sales or not? So let's have a think about that once we see the full analysis. For her, it's dipping my toes in. So some of these other people, they want to see themselves in the future. I want to develop my skills. I want to go and sort of build this stuff. But actually, in this case, I'm going to take a little sort of dip. I'm going to see if I can do it first, and then I can have the confidence to move on. A lot of this was belief that she could get to your level, and I'm not sure. Hopefully, you don't take it as an offensive thing. But looking at PJ's drawings, somehow this feels it's like, wow, I'm never going to get there. But looking at yours, it's like, oh, I could get there, and that's actually a good thing because it's drawing people in, or it's drawing her in certainly. Sharpen my toolbox. I've got the permission to be shitty. I quite like that one. So I feel like I've got crap art, but hey, look, this person here is going to let me come and be crap, and I'm still going to learn something. I'm still going to be able to push something useful out, and I can trust you. So again, the dual-sided there. We've got when I've seen, other people, I've seen your work in books, but it's really, so I can trust this, and do that. So habits. She keep making her own memes. She could take your visuals, for example, and just put commentary on them, saying, "Oh, this is so true for somebody trying to get a a visa or a green card." Lots of anxieties in this one, though, both from PJ's course and your course. And I suppose, actually, when you think about this, both of them are the higher priced option, and they're causing anxieties for different reasons. So, do I have to join a class? What time's this? I'm in India. I'm going to come back to the States, and I've really got the chance to do this. Do I have to sit on a wait list? I know these Maven courses put people onto wait lists, probably so that they can plan to join the sessions. But for some people who just want the skill, and certainly people who are buying lots of courses or buying lots of educational content, this is kind of getting in my way of doing something. I'm working hard. She's on her own. She's got to create content, put that content out there, respond to people who leads. You know this. You're doing this yourself. How do I fit this in? And so your course being short and easily accessible, it fits into people's calendars, and I think that's a sales point. Then the comment there, do I really need your help? Do I need this one-on-one help? So what was really interesting is at the entry point, if she'd have understood what that help was, you might have sold a higher priced course content. So it's like, no, I'm not going to be doing this for you. I'm going to be coaching you, helping you, refining your ideas, working with you in real time. It's kind of more hands-on or something like that. You don't have to do this to be the expert, but maybe it's I'll help you up the ladder faster or something like that might appeal to her. But also, okay, I'm paying for one-on-one sessions, but why? What am I getting? And then, am I delegating this to someone else? So they're the main takeaways that I've got from this. Hopefully this is helpful to you. I found it a really interesting interview. I suspect we'll find a few more people like her as we continue through the interviews with your students. And it'd be really interesting to talk to some of the people who paid top dollar for this to see, did they see something else, or did they want something else that made them jump to the top of the queue and pay top whack? Anyway, cheers.